Welcome to Center Stage. I'm Mikailo Curry. Today we continue our presentation of a series of reports on North American Ukrainian performers who are making a name for themselves on the international music scene. Today we present to you Winnipeg-based vocalist Alexis Korchan. Alexis is the leader and spirit of the group Paris to Kiev, who made a recent performance here in Toronto at the Du Maurier Centre at Harbourfront as part of a world music series. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present to you Alexis Korchan. Winnipeg-based singer Alexis Korchan and her band Paris to Kiev have taken their talent to the major concert halls of the world. Alexis has headlined concerts across Canada, the United States, and Europe. From Los Angeles to London, and from Montreal to Monaco, the music of Alexis Korchan is embracing a new and growing number of fans. I met Alexis in Toronto recently, and I had to ask the most obvious question. Where did the name Paris to Kiev come from?
You want to know about that? Well, I guess initially, maybe I can tell you this story. When I was a student doing an internship in Kyiv, and this was during the Soviet period, I had to fly for the first time to Ukraine through Paris. And it became so clear to me when I got off the plane and walked down Khreshchatyk, and you know the boulevard. I mean, it's beautiful, even during that period, because Kyiv was rebuilt after the war, to walk down that incredible street and realize that Kyiv could have been the Paris of Eastern Europe. And for some reason, and we know all those historical reasons, it wasn't. And that really moved me, and it made me feel like there was something here to be unearthed and to talk about, either through music or through some art form, to tell the world about this interesting place called Ukraine. I was hoping to make a music happen that combined ideas from the old world, those old, beautiful, excavated pieces of jewelry from our folk music, and give it new life from the West, from a Western kind of taste or perspective that I grew up in. And so then again, Paris to Kiev, East-West, it's like that. And it's also kind of a personal voyage.
As part of the world music scene, Alexis was in Toronto to perform at the prestigious Du Maurier Theatre at Harbourfront. How did this event come about?
A young impresario who has a concert series here based on world music sounds heard us perform last year in November. It was actually a showcase for the Canada Council. They sponsored it. And he was very moved. And in fact, what he said was, after listening to us, he says, "You'd be the only group I'd book immediately." It was just, for him, it was, for everyone, it's different, and it struck a chord with him. It resonated. So he said that we would do a concert here in Toronto, and he would essentially present it. And that's a very tough thing, by the way, in the world of world music, because world music in Canada is really still not a very popular thing. There are certainly very fine ensembles and artists doing it. Vancouver is one area, Toronto's another place. Winnipeg, besides 2 or 3 others, it's very small. Hardly anything going on the prairies, really, in terms of world music. Out east, on the coast, Celtic music. So really, we're very young in terms of that. But if you look globally, it's very big. You've got Musikash coming from Hungary. You've got incredible African groups coming from Africa. You've got Balkan stuff happening. And so what I think is we're kind of at this little cusp. We're at the beginning of something here. And I like that place of world music because it involves a fusion of things, which is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in these worlds coming together.
As a Canadian specializing in Ukrainian music, has Alexis had any response from musicians in Ukraine?
Well, you know, it's interesting. When people hear the stuff that I'm doing from Ukraine, I get very interesting responses. I've had, you know, people like Abdievsky from Viryovka listen to some of this material, to ambassadors who I've sung for. And they're all, many of them moved to tears. Because, you know, to them, it very much speaks still to Ukrainian music, and yet gives it, it's a whole new breath of fresh air. You know, there's a contemporary feel to it, there's a new language, and they seem to respond to it. I'd love to do something more in Ukraine, because I'm interested in those responses, you know, being I'm a Canadian kid.
And she's a Canadian kid making it in the music world. We'll have more from Alexis Kokan in the new year as she puts the finishing touches on her new CD. Alexis Kokan and her group Paris to Kiev have recordings available at your local Ukrainian record store. They'd make an ideal Christmas gift for any lover of Ukrainian music. I'm Mikhailo Curie, Center Stage for Contact. See you next time.